Hello, welcome to Divine Motivation, where we delve into the depths of Indian culture and spirituality. Our channel is inspired by the priceless teachings of various deities, starting with the divine stories of Lord Krishna from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Join us on the spiritual journey and draw inspiration from the sacred teachings and life lessons that guide us toward a motivated and meaningful life. Let's embrace this divine journey together and gain strength from the inspiration of God. Jaya Shri Krishna Jaya Shankar. In the last video we have listened about Varaha fought Hiranyaksha and killed the demon. Now let's move further. Kapila Muni. Vidura asked Maitreya to explain the creation of the world and how it became populated. Swayambhuva Manu had a daughter named Devahuti, whom he gave in marriage to the sage Kardama. Kardama had been instructed by the Lord himself to end his long period of celibacy and marry Devahuti. The Lord also promised that a partial incarnation of himself would be born to them. After many years of intense austerities by both, Kardama and Devahuti were blessed with a son, Kapila Muni, who would later become the proponent of the Samkhya philosophy. Understanding that their son was a partial manifestation of Vishnu, Kardama realized that the purpose of their marriage had been fulfilled. When Kapila came of age, Kardama decided to renounce worldly life, leaving Devahuti in their son's care. After praising his son and seeking his blessings, Kardama left to practice spiritual disciplines and austerities. With his father gone, Kapila Muni lived with his mother by Lake Bindu. One day, Devahuti approached her son and said, "My senses have led me astray. Please, remove my attachments and delusions. You are the Lord himself, born to free us from illusion." Kapila replied, "Mother, the mind is the source of both bondage and liberation. It clings to the three gunas, sattva, purity, rajas, activity, and tamas, darkness. This attachment binds us, but if we can let go of the ego, the sense of I and mine, the mind will be purified and can be focused on the Supreme Spirit. The simplest way to achieve this is through devotion to the Lord. When a person directs all their senses toward the Lord with love, their impurities are burned away, just as fire consumes whatever is placed in it. This is true bhakti, or devotion. Although true devotees do not seek liberation, their devotion naturally leads them to a state beyond birth and death. Devotion alone can take one to the highest. Kapila then taught his mother about the nature of reality according to the Samkhya philosophy. He explained the concepts of Purusha, the soul, Prakriti, primordial nature that binds the soul, and the 24 cosmic principles. He also described Ashtanga Yoga, or Raja Yoga, the eightfold path of meditation. These teachings brought great joy to Devahuti and dispelled her ignorance. She then chanted a hymn in praise of her son and said, "Even a person of low birth who repeatedly takes your name is worthy of respect. Those who recite your name with faith must have performed great meritorious acts in a previous life." Following her son's teachings, Devahuti began practicing meditation and other spiritual disciplines. She soon became absorbed in samadhi and attained the highest state of realization of the Supreme Self. After instructing his mother, Kapila headed north towards the sea. The Lord of the Seas, recognizing his greatness, worshipped the sage and offered him shelter. It is said that Kapila remains there, absorbed in deep meditation for the welfare of the three worlds. Daksha's sacrifice and the death of Sati. Shukadeva continued narrating the Bhagavatam to King Parikshit and the gathered sages, who listened intently. He then recounted the story of Daksha's sacrifice. Daksha, a son of Brahma, had many daughters, one of whom was Sati, married to Lord Shiva. Despite being the lord of the gods and the husband of Sati, Mahadeva, Shiva, once remained seated when Daksha visited a religious ceremony conducted by the Devas. All the other Devas stood up to honor Daksha, but Shiva did not. Feeling disrespected, Daksha became furious and insulted Shiva, cursing him that he would no longer receive a share of the offerings at sacrifices. Shiva remained calm, but his follower Nandi cursed Daksha in return, saying he would lose his spiritual consciousness and become like an animal, with his head turning into a goat's head. Later, Daksha organized a grand sacrifice, inviting all the Devas, Rishis, and sages, except Shiva and Sati. When Sati heard about the sacrifice at her father's house, she pleaded with Shiva to let her attend. Although Shiva initially discouraged her, Sati insisted, believing that a daughter does not need an invitation to visit her father's home. Eventually, she went with some of Shiva's attendants. Upon arriving, Sati was greeted only by her mother, sisters, and a few close relatives. Her father ignored her completely. She then noticed that no portion of the sacrifice had been allocated to Shiva. Enraged, Sati publicly chastised her father, saying, "You dare to insult one whose name alone frees a person from all sins. You are the embodiment of inauspiciousness, yet you insult the one who is the essence of all auspiciousness and fame." Unable to bear the shame of being related to someone who despised her noble husband, Sati declared, "I can no longer live in this body born from you." Shiva, who even drank poison to save the three worlds, is called Neelkantha. "I am ashamed of our relationship, and I will now cast off this body." Thanks for watching this video. Next part of story will be covered in next video. Thank you for watching Divine Motivation. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. To stay connected with us, press the bell icon and get updates on new videos. Your suggestions and feedback are welcome. Jaya Shri Krishna, Jaya Shankar.